Before we talk about the application materials and everything else, I want you to understand how funding works, because it is likely that you cannot fund yourself, and so you want to get funding, and I'm going to tell you all you need to know to get funding, and then I'm going to tell you about the application materials, and all of that. First of all, there are more than 5,000 universities and colleges in the US, and a good number of them provide good funding to international students. Because not all schools provide good funding, you must check on their websites that they offer good funding before you submit an application. For graduate students, that is masters and PhD students, the funding that we are interested in are fellowships, teaching assistantships, research assistantships, and graduate assistantships. Fellowships are grants or free monies that help PhD students with their research. Teaching assistantships are given to students to help with teaching, in the school. So normally teaching assistants will teach undergraduate students. Research assistants will help faculty with their research. And a GA can be a research assistant or a teaching assistant. So GA is more like general. And also a GA can be somebody who helps with administrative duties. Whatever your department may have among these options is good. It will get your visa approved and help you survive in the US. Departments tend to have one or more of these options. If you are coming to do your master's or your PhD, you don't need scholarships, because scholarships are not going to give you enough money to survive. Also understand that funding is very competitive and not automatic. You are automatically considered for funding opportunities, but it is not automatic. It depends on how strong your application materials are. There are also campus jobs, but these campus jobs, they are not really going to give you enough money, so you don't really focus on campus jobs. Unless, the campus job is in a different department where they employ you as a GA. That way, they are going to waive your tuition and also give you some stipends. That one is good. For undergraduate students, the goal is to... Hey guys, welcome to another study abroad live session. Today I have decided that we should look at low GPA schools. So like if you have a GPA which is less than 3.0, you can consider some of the schools that we are going to look at today. Now, let me emphasize that when you meet the minimum GPA requirement, it doesn't mean you are automatically going to be considered for assistantship positions, right? The minimum GPA requirement is more like, it's more like a necessary condition, right? And then once you meet that, you have to meet other conditions as well. So if you have a low GPA, it means you have to do a lot of work to show that you deserve an assistantship. So that's just, by the way, it's not just about meeting the minimum requirements, okay? And if you have a GPA which is more than 3.0, which it means that if you apply to schools that require GPAs below 3.0, you have a good chance. That's how it works. So that's what I want us to do. Let me select the screen. For some reasons, okay, I think it should be this one. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. If you can see my face, obviously, and then the screen as well, the background screen. Okay. So like I said, we are going to explore low GPA schools. Okay. Let me know where you're watching this from, and if you have any question, let me know. All right. So I see Karen, I see Benson, I see Raymond. Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Okay, you can hear me. That's good. All right. So let's start. There are so many schools that we are going to look at. Okay, so many schools, and we can just start from anywhere. Some of them I am very familiar with them, so we can start with those ones. I can even start with with my school, but the thing is that my school, it is the communication program. So like Northern Law University, right? The communication program. I found out a few days ago that they actually So the communication program, this is a communication page, right? They have assistantships, which is a good thing. And then we can also check their requirements. I found out a few days ago that they actually require a GPA of 3.0. So when we go to apply for admission, right? Uh, I said 2.75 actually. That's what I meant. So you can see that if you want to get into the masters in communication, right? There's a graduate school, and well, actually, um, that's probably not. Hmm. So I think it took me to a different page. This is more like the graduate school, so it's more like the main, the main page of the school. But what you are saying is that if you have a GPA and a graduate GPA of 2.75 on a 4.0 scale, you can get admission, and admission is just the first step. To get funding, it means you have to do a little bit more. Okay, so so that means that for some programs, I don't think it's for all programs. And where I was, let me show you something. I was at the communications page. So there's a communication page, right? But then when I go to apply for admission, it takes me to the graduate page. I guess this is all related. But let's look at this one and see. Okay. Well, this page doesn't really say anything. So what we see, or what we saw, has to do with the graduates, the general graduate requirements, which means that you have to check your program of interest. You may have to send an email or something. The requirements are not specific to a particular program, based on what I see here. So it's kind of difficult to tell, but once you see the minimum requirement for the graduate school, it means that it's more likely that most of the programs can actually consider you if you have a GPA of 2.75, right? So GRE is not required. TOEFL is not. It's only required for some students. So yeah, so we can start. We can also check Kent State. I know Kent State University. When we go to, so this like the economics, right? The masters in economics, and you can see that they require a minimum GPA of 2.75 to get admission, and they don't require the GRE or anything. So you can see the economics. This all the 2.75. So that's another thing. We can also check other programs at Kent State. Let's just check another program and see, just to make sure it's not just the economics program. Let me just go home, and then from here I can go to let's say majors and degrees, and then let me just go with graduates. So let me say acting, right? And acting, let's go to admission, and you can see that acting, they also require 2.75, probably for all the programs. So that's good to see. So we have two schools now. We can also check Cleveland State. I believe Cleveland State, they require 2.7. Let's check Cleveland State University. And normally I want to check a program. I don't want to check the general admission. Okay, well, graduate admissions. Let me just click this and see. So business, College of Business. Okay, well, we would have to select a program. Okay. I don't know if this is going to take us to the application. Okay, that's not what we want, right? Let's go back. Okay, well, I can't go back. Let me check. Let me select a degree, and then okay, let me check economics. So you can see that the economics program requires a GPA of 2.75. Cleveland State University, 2.75. The IELTS, I don't know if it's for every country. You always have to check all of these things, but I don't think if you're a Ghanaian you need to submit IELTS or TOEFL. I don't think you need to. Okay, so we can see Cleveland. Let's check another program and see. Let's say engineering, and then let's select a degree. Let's say computer science. So computer science requires 3.0, right? Let's check civil engineering. Civil engineering requires 2.75, right? So that's good to see. So that is another school. If you have a low GPA, you can consider. But I wanna check the funding as well. So let's go to okay. Let me just go to the home page. and then let's go to graduates, and then um hmm, okay, let me click on graduate admissions and see. Okay. Okay. If you want, we can just type Cleveland State University. What am I doing? Cleveland State University. I hope I'm not going too fast, because sometimes, you know, I might be going too fast without even realizing it. Let's say graduates, assistantship, right? So Cleveland State. So yeah, they have some. At least we can see that in general they have assistantships, but it's not going to be for all programs. You always have to check your specific program of interest, right? So yeah, we can see that in general they have assistantship, and we can also see that some of the programs require a minimum GPA of 2.75. Now what they are saying is that students must also have a graduate GPA of at least 3.0. So what this means is that even though 2.7 can get you admission, it might not get you an assistantship. They are saying that here they might require 3.0. And then if you want to do law, and then if you want to do law with an assistantship, then you need at least 3.25, right? So that's for Cleveland State University. So yeah, the thing is that if you have a low GPA, like I always say, even if your GPA is, let's say you have a GPA of 2.75, right, and then you can get admission, right? If you want to get funding, you have to do more. You have to take the SAT. Sorry, you have to take the GRE. That's what I would suggest. And then if you take the GRE and you do well, it gives you a better chance, right? So that's the thing, is that the GRE is also kind of a little bit hard and requires you to have a lot of time to prepare. So if you don't have the time, then you might not do well, that kind of thing. So that's the thing. But if I strongly believe, if you have like 2.75 and then you have the GRE and the score is good, yeah, you can get assistantship. All right, so let's okay, let me quickly check the comments section to make sure I'm okay, I'm on track. Okay, Luayo from Malawi, Osman from Ghana, Momeni from South Africa, Karen from Nigeria. Okay, Francis. When I was about to apply to NIU, I had an email corresponding with my programs director, and he sent me an application the application requirement for 2025. Yeah, sometimes when you send an email inquiring about a program, they would have a template, a general template that they can just send it to, which has all the requirements and all of that. Yeah, so basically, if you have a GPA which is above 3.0, then you can actually consider these schools, so that it gives you a better chance. It means that you more than meet the minimum requirements to get admission, and that means you are more likely to get funded, right? Because if your GPA is, let's say, 3.5, and then you are looking at certain programs, like certain schools which have higher requirements, it might be very difficult for you to get into those schools. So yeah. Benson says, I recently tried Spantran to evaluate my documents. I chose the option where they can contact one of my universities for authentication of the transcript. It's taking long, 10 days. Any advice? Well, that when it comes to transcripts and all these things, I think these people, they have a lot of requests from students, and so that's why it's taking too long. It's like now the number of people who want to travel abroad, has gone up significantly, and so because of that, all these things in the past, they were not taking time, but now they take a lot of time. So the best option is probably to wait, and if you feel like it's taking too long, you can also send an email. I'm sure there should be an email for you to contact somebody and find out, right? When it comes to transcript evaluation stuff, I don't really, I evaluated my transcript once when I was coming to the US in 2016, and that was it. I've not evaluated transcript again. So anything that I know about transcript evaluation will come from people that I have talked to, stuff like that. Luayo says, I would like to ask if at all a person needs to apply for admission and graduate assistantship concurrently. What happens is that, in general, when you submit an application, you are considered for both of them at the same time. So you don't have to apply for them separately. But then also, sometimes what happens is that they will give you admission, and then they will after they've given you admission, they will give you a form, which is the assistantship form, for you to fill and then send it back to them. And then they will make a decision after you send the form to them. So it depends. What you should do is meet the requirements, submit a good application, and then whatever you have to do, you will know. They will tell you what to do, right? So that's what I can tell you. Okay, so that is it for Cleveland State University. We just know that they accept a GPA of, and then also I can tell you that the University of North Texas, I've explored the school a little bit more. They have, I don't know, maybe like 10,000 international students or so, and I've actually been to this school before. Let's check. I don't know why I'm always using economics. Let me go back, and then let's go to graduate programs. And then the thing is that actually, before we can even decide to, instead of going to the school's website, sometimes I do this so that students don't get intimidated by it, but we can actually use the easy route. You can just say University of North Texas graduates application, graduates, and just say GPA requirements. That is more straightforward for masters. GPA requirements. That I clicked on this. Okay. So that's not what I expected. I am very sure I have explored the University of North Texas in the past, and I saw a minimum GPA of 2.75 or so. That's interesting. Okay. This one is just AI generating stuff for me, so it's difficult for me. Let me click this link. Sometimes they will give you AI recommendations, so then you would have to spend a little bit more time to figure out if the AI is right or not. So okay. What I want to say is that some of these things, it takes time. Sometimes you have to spend some time on the website to explore, so it will not come easily like that. Okay. I'm very sure about this. I know I have explored this in the past, and I actually have a list where I put it there. If I remember correctly, when I made a video about the top 20 graduate schools that I recommend, I mentioned the University of Texas, and in the video, like, I'm very sure if you check the video, you see the 2.5 the 2.75 that or maybe 2.8 or so that I talked about. I am very sure about this, and it's just strange that I am not finding it, but okay. Well, let me go to the school. Okay, not psychology. Let's go home, and then let's go to admissions. Oh no, graduate admissions, and see. Okay, fall. No, that's not. Okay, let's go here. I don't know if something changed, because I am very sure I have seen below 3.0 before, but now all I'm seeing is 3.0. Wow, this is well, let's go to international and see transcripts. Oh boy. Okay, well, Yeah, I let's forget about it. Let's just say it's not true, right? Let's say it's not true. Let's check Western Law University, because I think Western Law University is 2.8 minimum. Western Law University, um, graduate GPA or something. Maybe that can actually work. Graduate GPA, maybe minimum. Let me just make it minimum. So yeah, Western Illinois, they require 2.75. So let's look at this and see. Oh wow. So they are saying that they require minimum GPA of 2.75 overall, or if your last 2 years produce a GPA of 3.0, then that is the same thing. Then you can be considered for admission. Now, admission is just the first step. You have to convince them with other things if you want assistantship, which it's not always easy. And the application fee is actually $30. If you want to, okay, domestic. What about international? Um, for new domestic graduate students, let's look at international and see. Um, so international students, they are saying they don't offer any waiver. Let me click here and see. So this is I'm thinking this is the international page. Yeah, this is the international page, because you are seeing that they require a copy of your passport, right? So, and yeah, for international students, the application fee is $50, and it's $30 for domestic students. So here, yeah, if you have evaluated your transcripts, you can consider Western Law University, right? And Western Law University, I can tell you, they have assistantships. Like when you check their programs, they have a lot of assistantships. But as always, as usual, as I always tell you, it always depends on your application, how strong your application, is. So that is what will determine when we check sociology. Sociology, they require a minimum GPA of 2.75, and then we can check that. And so they require 3 letters of recommendation, a writing sample, and then personal statement or goal statement, the same thing, transcripts. And then currently they have 6 international students, and the students with assistantships are 6. So, and they currently have 12 students. So that's the sociology program. They only have masters in sociology. So yeah, Western Law University is one school. If you have a low GPA, you can look at that. And then I believe that Eastern Michigan to minimum graduates, minimum GPA. Oh no, this is undergraduates. So let me add minimum graduates. Normally when I am exploring stuff like that, I like to open every new link in a new tab instead of doing everything and then going back and then restarting the whole thing all over again. I don't like doing that. So far I'm seeing 3.0. All right. Okay. So 3.0. So yeah, we can forget about Eastern Michigan, because they require 3.0 actually. Yeah, they require 3.0. Let's look at another thing. Eastern Illinois. Is there Eastern Illinois? Is there something like Eastern Illinois? Okay. I'm in Illinois, and I was even confused about. Okay. Let me open this in a new tab. Let me open this one also in a new tab, and let's see. Let's see. Oh, I don't know whether Eastern Illinois. Sometimes you hear something and then it sounds some way in your ears, right? Or in my case, actually, I was looking at it, so in my eyes, I got confused, and But I know Eastern Illinois University actually. When I was coming to the US, I applied to 3 schools. Eastern Illinois University was one of them. It's just crazy. I was suddenly confused, But yeah, I mean it happens, right? So yeah, Eastern Illinois University, they require a minimum GPA of 2.75. So if you want to consider Eastern Illinois University, some of the programs may require GRE, some may not require it. So it depends on which program you are interested in. They used to have economics program, but they no longer have the economics program. I don't know, maybe they didn't have money or something, so they decided to just um shut it down. So, but yeah, I can tell you that they have a lot of funding for international students. They have assistantships and all of that. But then, so yeah, the assistantship thing. So based on what I am seeing, in a way, probably the best option is to evaluate your transcript if you have maybe less than 3.0, because I think that is likely going to raise it a little bit for you to get to maybe at least 3.0. And then with the 3.0, if you have the GRE, it's going to make a big difference for you, right? That's what I would think, right? This one is general, but every department can also have their own. They can also make their own decision, right? So if you have other materials which are very strong, they can actually override the fact that you have a GPA which is, maybe less than 3.0. So the deadline is February 15. You always have to make sure you submit it on time. And their assistantship, the way it works is they give you monthly stipend and then a tuition waiver, which is generally how assistantships work, right? So we know it's in Law University as well. What else can we look at? I mean, there are a lot of schools actually that allow you to have a lower GPA, like a GPA below 3.0. Let's look at the University of Arkansas. Okay, let me close. Let me paste it here. Okay, let me use this one and see. University of I I kind of feel a bit confused as to whether something has changed or I made some mistake. Okay, hold on. Let me just check any program engineering. Let's see. And then let's see the requirements. Let's go to apply. Okay. I have to go back. And then let's go to admissions. Graduates. Let's steps to apply. All these are undergraduates for undergraduate students. Okay. Some of the programs, some of the schools actually, I mean, they don't make things clear enough. And so for some of these schools, the best option is to send an email because they are not clear on, they are not really clear on the requirements and all of that. So okay, let's check international. Then okay, so this is undergraduates. So let me scroll down. Okay, well, then let's go to graduates. Let's go to graduate school. Where is graduate school? Okay, graduate school, and then okay, so application fee of $40, and okay, academic records. If you have West, you can also apply it. So if you evaluate your transcript and then from 2 points, let's say 5, and then it becomes, let's say 3.0, then you can apply here, right? It means you meet the minimum requirements. And now University of Arkansas, I don't know if you guys have my friend John, this is where he came to, and he was funded and all of that. So they have assistantships. But okay, let me click assistantships and see the requirement for assistantships. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing about these things. You have to, keep going around. So the assistantships, this one is based on if you want to keep your assistantship, right? You need to have at least 3.0, like if you want to keep your assistantship. But that is not, we want to see what you need to get into it. That is not here, right? Well, the same thing. This one is if you want to, like, you maintaining it, you have to. And all assistantships are like that. You need to maintain a GPA of 3.0 to keep your assistantship. Okay. Everything is just, yeah. So schools are different, right? So anytime you are not seeing something that you want to see, you can always send an email and find out more about the GPA requirements. And for me, what I would say is, if your GPA is below 3.0 and you have taken the GRE, you should send an email first to be sure that because you have a good GRE score, they can consider you for assistantship positions. That's what I would do, so that when you apply, you know that you are going to get something. Let me close these things. Okay, close. So yeah, well, we are going to explore a lot of programs, a lot of schools actually. So let me just quickly check a few comments, and then Bingo from Uganda, Ni shared a live, Ako Akote shared a live. Okay, Ni. Bingo says Bingo has a GPA of 2.5. You want to do your master's in supply chain. First of all, I'm not too sure about universities that offer the supply chain program, because supply chain is not common enough, I think, right? So if you are a business student, you may want to consider other business programs like accountancy, MBA, public administration. I will consider those ones. But the supply chain, I think it's not really common in the US here. So, and then Shelian says biochemistry. I don't know what you mean, Shelian. Here for her, please, if I want to talk to you directly, where can I reach you? Well, I don't really have the time to talk to students because it's a lot of work. Everybody wants to talk to you. You cannot talk to everybody. I don't have the time at all. Like, when I say I don't have the time, sometimes people don't even understand. People think I'm just exaggerating how busy I am. No, 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 no. I am so busy. And anyone who is in the US naturally is going to be so busy. So sometimes you have people, people complain a lot. Like, if you have somebody, let's say you're dating somebody, the person comes to the US, suddenly the person doesn't have your time anymore, and you are back home and you are wondering why the person has forgotten about you. Sometimes the person is so busy that you have no idea. And given what I do in terms of YouTube, in terms of my PhD, all of this, I don't have the, like, you can imagine that if that person doesn't have time, look at me, I don't even have time at all. So I coach students, right? But right now I've even deactivated that account, deactivated the coaching course, or the coaching, the one-on-one coaching, because I don't have the time to coach anybody right now. So right now, if you want to prepare yourself very well for the interview, you can enroll in the coaching course. The course has already been built, so it's like you follow the videos. Everything is based on the one-on-one coaching, so you can build everything from there. And then you get opportunity for a free mock session. That's what but for me to talk, once in a while I talk to people. Like today I talked to somebody, but this is on case by case basis. I don't want to say I want to, no, I can't. But if you send me a message, I'll respond to your message. That's the way it is. And I cannot guarantee that I will respond to it immediately. Sometimes it would take like 2 days, because sometimes I'm not even on WhatsApp. Sometimes I can go off for 2 days, for a day, and all of that. So just for you to know, the best option is always to ask me your questions during the live session, and I can give you detailed answers. You don't really have to talk to me. Okay. Sualele. Yeah, there is a Telegram. I don't have a Telegram channel. I have a Telegram group, and the link is on YouTube. I have a WhatsApp group. I have WhatsApp groups and WhatsApp channel. So all the links are on YouTube. Okay. So you can check that out. I think WhatsApp channel and Telegram channel, they offer the same thing, right? So, but if you want a group, there is a group. But it really, like, the whole point about the channel, the Telegram group, is actually the mock session stuff, because if you really need answers, you have to be in a WhatsApp group. That's where you can get people in the groups to help you with answers and all of that, So that's what I can say. Desmond says, please, with a GPA of 3.23, can I apply for bachelor's in psychology? So 3.23 high school GPA or what? I don't know what you mean. Gabby says, I just joined. Please, which school is this? I don't know which school, but the last school I was looking at is University of Arkansas at Little Rock. Okay. Okay. Akko says, please, any university with low tuition for bachelor's degree. If your objective is low tuition, then probably you have to look at community colleges. But if you really want to come, your focus will not be on schools that have low tuition. If you really want to come to the US, your focus will be getting a good scholarship, which means you have to take the SAT. If you don't want to take the SAT, then what makes you think you want to study in the US? Because it's the same thing. You are still going to learn, right? So for me, if you want a good scholarship, take the SAT, and then that will give you a better chance. It also depends on your GPA and all that. If you know you completed your high school, you don't have a good GPA, go to the university in your country and do well. And then you know that because now it's very clear that, okay, maybe you want to study in the US, so go and do your bachelor's degree in your home country, do well, get a good GPA, and then come to the US to do your master's degree. That would be my recommendation. Sometimes we force something and then we end up wasting 3 years with no progress. If you think, if you really want to come, then take the SAT to get a good scholarship, unless your parents can sponsor you. If your parents can sponsor you, then you should look at community colleges. That one, community colleges too, sometimes it's also difficult. It's not the easiest option to get your visa approved when you use community colleges. The best option is apply to a 4-year program with good credentials, get a good scholarship, and come, so that you have your peace of mind. That's the thing. Yeah, everything in life is hard, and you have to be ready to take the difficult route, because on the other side of the difficult routes is are the good things that you are looking for, right? Comfort, financial freedom, all these things, right? So that's what I can tell you. I am Bright says, please, what is the difference between personal statements and a professional goal statement? They are the same. Like, they are actually, these things, they are, technically there could be some little differences, but one can be a substitute for another. I can show you something. I can show you, hold on. I can show you, like, my school, they even said personal statement or statement of purpose. Some schools, that's how they even put it. They will say personal statement or statement of purpose, because personal statement of purpose, personal goal, they're all trying to elicit the same thing from the students. Why do you want to study the program? What is your background? How is your background related to it? What is your research interest? How does the program fit into your goal, like your future goals? All of these things, that's what the school is looking for. So whether personal statement of purpose, personal goal, personal essay, they are all the same thing. We don't have to really worry too much about these things. And the good thing is that most schools will tell you exactly what they want to see in, whether it's personal essay, personal statements, right? The school is going to tell you what they want to see. So then you craft something based on what they are telling you. Let me try to see, because I've seen it somewhere, right? I'm trying to see if I'll find it. Some schools, they will tell you, either of them works. I don't know if I'll find it here, but I know I've seen it, and I've seen it in other, on the website of other schools as well, right? So see, just to prove to you, they're saying that if required by your program, your statement of purpose, sometimes called a personal statement, should outline your preparation for graduate study in your chosen field, as well as your goals for graduate school and beyond. It should also explain why you believe the program at NIU can best help you meet these goals or those goals. The same thing, right? The school is saying sometimes, so they are just the same thing. It's just about the same thing. So students should not worry too much about these things. Okay, they are just the same things. Okay. Alcon says, please, any school with low tier. Okay. Desmond says, I have a diploma in adult education certificate. I want to further for my bachelor's degree. So, are you trying to transfer, or what is a plan, right? What do you want to do? When you are not using the traditional route, you would have a lot of work to do. That's how it is, right? If you don't want to use a traditional route, the traditional route is high school, bachelor's degree, then you come to the US to do masters, or from high school you apply to start your bachelor's degree in the US. So those are the traditional routes. If you don't want to use that and then the diploma and all those things, then if you want to do your bachelor's degree with a diploma, you have to take the SAT to give you a better. You have to take the SAT to get a good scholarship, which means that you're going to start from the beginning, right? Or if you want to transfer, most of the scholarships are not given to transfer students. That's something for you. Most of the scholarships are for freshmen, right? So that's something for you to keep in mind. Desmond says, can I apply for psychology? Desmond, I don't understand your question. I don't understand your question. You have to ask the question together, or if for some reasons you cannot type everything, let them follow each other so that I can read them together, because if you send something and then other comments come in between, it's very difficult for me to remember what you said, right? Bas says, getting recommendations from Ghanaian lecturers is too hard. Yeah, it's because I don't blame the lecturers too much, because like everybody is trying to come, right? So it's like they have a lot of work to do to try to please every student. So it's really difficult. But you can also, if you are working in a company, you can try to get your boss to also give you recommendation letters. If your boss has a professional email tied to the company, then that can also help. Ideally it should be from professors, but sometimes that can help. Shelian says, still room for fall applications for someone about to write a GRE. Yeah, most of the top universities like Harvard, MIT, their deadlines is normally in the middle of December or end of December or even the 1st of December. That's how it works for those schools. But then for a lot of schools, you can actually apply in March and all of that. Don't apply after March. Let me just add that. Don't apply after March, but maybe ideally by the end of December or maybe by the end of January. When I was coming, I submitted my first application on January 6th, but all the other applications were submitted before the end of January. So that's the ideal thing, right? You got admission last year, you deferred to this year. Funding, can I get dates and continue with the process when admission is in? Well, I have made a video that I'm posting on Tuesday. When you watch that video, so that it will kind of answer all or most of your questions, okay, so that you will understand how funding works. When I started this video, I played part of it. This video is not out yet, but I'll put it on Tuesday, so that you wouldn't have to have questions about the like stuff like that. Okay. Can I have 2 sponsors for my visa requirements as an international student? Yeah, you can. I have a video on my channel, 2 videos actually, with where 2 different students use 2 different sponsors to get approved. So it's all about why they are sponsoring you, the relationship, and like it's not. I cannot say yes or no. It's possible, but it depends. I cannot say automatically you'll be approved or no. It doesn't work like that. It depends on a lot of things. So. All right. I think I should look at other schools right now. Right. Okay. Luyo says, I would like to ask if at all a person needs to. Okay. Well, Perry says, do you guys email advices before you start application? You don't have to, unless it's more like a research position where you will need to get an advisor. Most of the time, you don't need any advisor. You have to meet the requirements and submit a good application. Because even these people that are writing an email to them, they are not even likely to mind you. So that's not Don't focus on that. Okay, focus on your personal statements, your resume, your other stuff, right? Augusta says, I took part in DV lotteries about 2 years ago. Will it affect? What do you mean you took part? Did you win? That's what if you didn't win, then it doesn't matter. Okay, nobody's going to deny you because of that, just because you applied for it. No, if you won it, then yeah, it means you have immigration intent. That one is difficult, but yeah. Matthew Tiras from Ghana. Tofik, hi Tofik. Matthew, is it best to submit my official transcript even though I'm yet to receive a TA offer? The official transcript, once you every school is different. Most of the time what the school wants is unofficial transcript, where you actually upload your transcript, the soft copy. That's all they need. Then when you arrive, they will require you to come with the official one in an envelope, most of the time in an envelope, so that a sealed envelope from your school. Then you give it to them, they will open it and then verify that okay, this is official transcripts, and then they will give your transcript back to you. That's all. So you don't really need to get official transcripts. You don't need to, you don't have to mail it to them unless they ask you to mail it, the official one, to them. Then you have to do that. So every school is different. You have to look at what the school wants. Okay, sometimes somebody will look at one school and then think you do the same for another school, but no, that it doesn't work. Like, every school is different. They will always tell you what you need to do. Okay. Tafik. Thank you. So let's look at other schools. I think we need to look at other schools. There is University of Fort Hayes. Let's check Fort Hayes, and then let's check the requirements and see. So I think I see this one, and they are saying that this is a graduate school, right? They are saying that for all graduate programs, you must have an earned bachelor's degree with a minimum GPA, with a minimum 2.5 GPA cumulatively, or on the last 60 hours of undergraduate study. So all transcripts must be official copies. So yeah, official copies, they will tell you exactly what they mean by official copies in the application, if you have to. So if they want the official copy, it means that you would have to let the registrar of your school, when I was at UCC, that's what we did, right? You go to the registrar, and then I remember, this is so many years ago, so I think you pay for, and I think, so at UCC, the school can actually take their address and then mail it for you, right? They will use the fastest mailing option, so you pay extra for them to do that. So the registrar will mail it directly from them to the school. That is official. But then also, I think there were times that we wanted to avoid so that is the option that was there, but I think we didn't do that. What we did was, we will get the transcripts in a sealed envelope, and then we will just mail it to the school ourselves, right? We don't open the envelope, like still seal the envelope, and then we just mail it to the school. So that's what we did. So, and it will look like it came from the school, because the same thing, because we don't open it, so it's the same thing. So that is official. But some schools don't really want you to do that. They want you to give you admission decisions based on the unofficial one that you upload, the scanned one. Then when you come, you can bring the official one. So it depends. But yeah, so we have confirmed another school, right? Forte states that 2.5 GPA can get you admission. Then when you do a little bit more, you can get funding. So that's another school that you can consider. Okay. Then Bridgewater states, I think. Bridgewater, let me go back. So Bridgewater State University. Okay, let's find out. Let's go to graduate school and see. Okay, so it looks like it's 3.0. Sometimes it's possible that maybe it depends on the program. It also depends on maybe something has changed. You know, maybe something has changed or something. Let me go here. Okay, international, then graduates. Okay, requirements. So if you have evaluation, you can also you can apply to this university. GMAT, I think it depends. Depends on the program. Where is the GPA? So they don't say anything about the GPA, right? At least I don't see that. Yeah, they don't say anything about the GPA. But if you have evaluated your transcript, it helps, right? So which means that if your GPA is low, consider evaluating your transcripts. That can help a lot. And you can use the free West tool to try to see where it's going to be. Some say they did it and they got something different. I think maybe they didn't do it well because it can be very complicated. If you do it well, I think you could get the same thing, right? And they have all kinds of graduate information sessions. They might not tell you that they will waive the application fee for you, but if you attend, they could waive it for you. Some of these things, I am not trying to apply to a school, so I am not going to apply and find out, right? But if you want to apply, then you can always apply. You can always explore these things to make sure it works out or it doesn't work out. Like, you can find out. So they have assistantships, so this is general, so you can check your specific your specific program as well. They have fellowships as well. So yeah. So we have another school. I I don't remember if I don't think I'll remember all the schools, but I think Minnesota State, I think they also might require something lower. Okay, Minnesota State University. Let me check this. Okay. Okay, let's go to show more, and then so they are saying that a 4-year cumulative minimum GPA of 2.75. So Minnesota State, right? If you have 2.75 on a 4.0 scale, you can get admission, right? So that's something to keep in mind, right? Minnesota State. I think I should have been keeping track of this, but okay. Minnesota, okay. Minnesota State. Yeah, so if you have if you have a minimum, if you have a GPA that is low, you can look at that as well. And I think, did we look at a financial? Okay, no. Let's go to international admissions and see. If you're a graduate student, you don't need scholarships. Scholarships are not going to give you enough money, so your focus is always assistantship. Or like if you're a PhD student, then maybe you want to consider fellowship, right? Okay, financial stuff. Minnesota State. So here, even though the GPA is low, we still have to make sure there is assistantship, in the school before we decide to apply. So if the GPA is 2.75 and then you apply and they give you admission, they've not done anything, right? So we always have to verify. Let me open it in a new. What am I even looking for? Okay, graduate assistantship. So Minnesota State. So almost 25% of our graduate students receive a graduate assistantship. 25%. That's low. 25%. I don't know. I think that's low. Interesting. So 25%, which means it's very competitive, right? It's very competitive. So you would have to submit something very strong. It's very competitive. You know, life is a competition. People think, oh, once I put in the application, then I should expect admission. No, 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 no. It depends on how strong your application is, right? So don't just think that, oh, it's no, no. A lot of people submit applications without spending a lot of time on their personal statement. I don't know why, but it's one of the things that when I came back, I have been emphasizing on a lot. The personal statement is extremely important, like extremely important. People don't pay too much attention to it. They think it's just for it's just for fun. No, 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 no. Personal statement is extremely important. So please, you have to spend a lot of time on it, and also your resume. When I spoke with John, when he was talking about the Clinton scholarship that he got, scholarships don't give you anything, but that kind of scholarship that he got was from the Clinton School of Public Service. And that one, the way it works is that Bill Clinton, right, the former president of the US, he has the scholarship. So that kind of scholarship is going to take care of everything for you. So that was the kind of scholarship that he got. But in general, scholarships will not give you the scholarships from the school. I think I need to make it specific. Scholarships from the school will not give you enough if you're coming to do your master's or your PhD. But scholarships are what undergraduate students need, because undergraduate students can get like full scholarship, which is very difficult. You have to be very intelligence in terms of your SAT, your GPA, and all of these things. Yeah, that one. But undergraduate students, most of the time they get like 50% scholarships and stuff like that. That one can still get your visa approved and help you in a way. So yeah, so here we have our Southern Law University, Carbondale. So here there are two of them. Okay, there is Edwardsville, and then there is Carbondale. This is Carbondale. I know people who have gone here. Last year there was a lady who reached out and all of that. She went to Carbondale. So they are saying that 2.7 can get you into Carbondale, right? University Southern Law University, Carbondale. So that's also another school that you can consider if you have a low GPA, right? Yeah, and I always say that if you have a low GPA, you have to do a lot of research on your own, because that way you are likely to come across schools that people are not aware of, so that you reduce the competition. Because if your GPA is low, the last thing you want is competition, right? Or intense competition, right? So let's look at Ball State and see. Ball State, I'm not too sure, but we can check that and see. Ball State, because I may have come across something. So Ball State, so what they are saying is that if you have a minimum GPA of 2.75 from your undergraduate degree, then you can get admission. Or okay, the other school, I don't know if it was Southern Law University or if it was Minnesota State. One of them said at least 3.0 for graduates if you have a previous graduate degree. I think I forgot to talk about that. So that means that, let's say you finished your bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Ghana, and then you decided to do your master's, right? What they are saying is that either your undergraduate degree is at least the 2.7, or your master's degree was at least 3.0. So that's what they mean. So that is what is here they are saying that either your undergraduate degree either you had a minimum GPA of 2.75 from your undergraduate degree, or you have a minimum GPA of 3.0 in your graduates, at least in nine graduate credit hours. So nine graduate credit hours means you did 9 credit hours in your graduate program. Maybe you finished or maybe you didn't finish, but that kind of thing that can help. So sometimes if you have a low GPA, one thing that can help you is to do your masters, and then do well in your masters, and then that master's degree, good GPA can help you, in a way. But then that is also that's too long. It's like a long process and all of that. So that's something. So yeah, we can see that Ball State's 2.75 can also help you get into Ball State. Rufka is in Ball State University. She's doing Rufka is doing counseling. Is it counseling? Yeah, Rufka is doing counseling at Ball State. So I don't really remember some of these things, so I can even mix their names up, but I hope that. So, but yeah. So we have seen Ball State too. Let me go to the comment section and then um Shelian says, does having a sponsor affect your chance of getting a scholarship? No. Whether you have a sponsor or not, scholarship, what determines your scholarship is how strong your application is. So that's the main thing, right? It has nothing to do with your sponsor. Even if your parents are the richest people in the world, if you submit a good application and then you indicate that you want funding, they will still give you full scholarship, even if you don't need it. So it's based on your application. Okay. Akko says, I've been accepted to CMU, but the funding is small. Can I get a GA as an undergraduate? If you are coming to do undergraduate degree, you are not going to get a GA. A GA has to do with, that's why they call it GA, graduate assistantship, right? Graduate. Because if you are coming to do undergraduate degree, you don't have enough skills, you don't have enough experience to do the job of a GA. That's the whole thing. Because GA, sometimes you are a teaching assistant, you are going to teach undergraduate students. If you are coming to do your undergraduate degree, you cannot teach your colleagues, right? It doesn't work like that. So that's the whole point about a GA. Parker Design says, I applied to Iowa State University and I have paid for the fees, but I now find out they need WSN. That's why you always have to find out from the school, and yeah, because yeah, like South Dakota, if you apply and then you don't have the West, they are going to require you to submit an evaluation. South Dakota, that's how it is. So South Dakota State. So that's the way it is. Tashmo says, can I use my sponsor's bank statement that was valid for 6 months this year for my interview? Whenever students are saying things like this, it means that they don't have a credible sponsor. Maybe they got a bank statement somewhere. I mean, if you are new here, you know me, I just say it the way it is. I'm not coming to make you look like I'm not coming to let somebody like me. No. I like myself, and I'll be honest with you. Anytime students, based on my experience, anytime somebody is talking about um the last 6 months and stuff like that, it means the person probably doesn't have a credible sponsor. I'm not saying you don't have a credible sponsor, but it's possible, right? So what I can say is that most of the time the visa officer is not even interested in your bank statements. Most of the time they don't even look at it. They don't. So it's about you being able to explain who is sponsoring you and knowing what they do and whether they are credible, right? So the first thing is, who is sponsoring you? What is your relationship with them? Why are they sponsoring you? Then we want to know, are they credible sponsors? Credible sponsor is somebody whose job description, or companies or assets and stuff like that can actually show that they can sponsor your studies. Once we establish that, then it means your finance part is taken care of. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you believe it's a credible bank statement and all of that, then there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, you can still use it. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you know everything about your sponsors' finances. Ms. Bao says, hi bro, please can I request and come up? What do you mean by come up? Can you be a bit clearer? AK's makeover says, you have to get a new valid bank statement. Well, so what I see, what I think about, what Tashmo says is that the bank statement is 6 months It's more like has transactions for the last 6 months, which means I don't know if the person means it was printed 6 months ago. If it was printed 6 months ago, then that's not, you cannot use that. You have to get something which is at least a month ago, right? So maybe, yeah. So it depends on what exactly she meant. Tina says bad network. AK's Mako says I did my first degree in philosophy and I'm going to have my master's in information systems. Well, continuation, what should be a perfect answer when I'm asked why the switch? So you know why you are switching, right? Is your current job related to information systems? If yes, then you have a good reason. If it's not, you have to find another reason. That's something you have to sit down and then, because at the end of the day, you decided that you want to do information systems, right? You made a decision. So what influenced you? You know better than me, right? Okay. Your current job is sales manager in your brother's business. Yeah, so that's something. I was coaching a lady recently and she submitted something to me. I didn't like it and I didn't even know how to make it better for her because it didn't look good to me, and both of us both of I don't know. So it was like I wasn't happy, she wasn't happy because she was struggling. So we had to have a conversation, and then because the story wasn't connecting well, so then we had to, I had to listen to her, and then from that I was able to put everything together and then give her a better story. So some of these things, it's not like straightforward, easily give you a story. No, it doesn't. And right now I don't even coach, so I don't have the time to coach anybody right now. So just Benson says, do you know anyone do you know any university that accepts RN diploma from Ghana to pursue bachelor's degree? Yeah, I always will tell you the truth that when it comes to this route, I am not an expert, and I will not. It's always I can tell you what I hear from other people when it comes to certain things, but it's always difficult to talk about somebody's story because somebody's story will still not give you the full picture compared to your own experience, your own story, right? So what I have gone through is what I have a lot of experience talking about it or sharing, and also what I've like I came here to do my master's and then PhD. I can tell you a lot about masters, I can tell you a lot about PhD, but then when it comes to diploma, switching, like all these things, I cannot really give you, I am not an expert when it comes to these things. So yeah, if you what I can tell you is probably you should use your high school stuff, and then or you can still use your diploma, and there are a lot of nursing programs in the US, Anna Maria and all these things. They are all schools that people go to. Not many people go to, but they're all, and every university probably has a nursing program. Every university in the US has probably, so that's your job to sit down and then explore these schools, what you want, look at them, look for them, and they are there. You have to just, sometimes students just want to ask you, oh, which school is this, which school is good for this. No, you have to sit down and then do it yourself, explore schools. That's just the way it is. That is how we make progress in life. And don't doubt yourself. Don't think you cannot do it. You can do it. You are more than good enough. People just doubt themselves, and that's why other people take advantage of them. I don't want to take advantage of anybody, so I will tell you what you need to do. I will teach you like all these things. So can you give us a sample of a perfect cold letter, one that can send to a professor for GA? Well, you don't send email to get a GA. You send email to inquire about GA positions, GA office. I have made a video about this already when I talked about the beginning of that video was a beef actually. So you would have to skip to an hour into the video to get to the cold email stuff. So when you check on my live sessions, one of them was about cold email. There is a sample there which is more like making inquiries about GA office and admission requirements and stuff like that. Is if you check the school's web page and you don't find certain things, then you can send certain emails. That is but you cannot send an email that you want a GA. No, the GA is based on your application that you've already submitted. Okay, so everything starts and ends with your application. But then when it comes to research positions, maybe a professor has a lab and the professor wants to get new students to help with his or her research, then in that case you would have to reach out to it depends on the field, not every program, some programs, then you can reach out to that professor about your interest in their work, what they do, and maybe you relate it to your research background, and you find their work interesting, and maybe in a way you can make a contribution, and you want to learn from them and also contribute, that kind of thing. Then you can send that person that kind of email. Then if the person thinks your background aligns with what they are doing, then they can speak with the department will offer you a research assistant position, and then you can come and then work with them. That is different. So what you don't send an email for a GA. So I've told you two different things, right? So look at what your situation is, and then look at what's fit into your situation. Okay. So if you want to check it out, you can check that video out. Agani Kwame, can you assist me with coaching? I already have a story and would be glad if no, I don't have the time right now. This time of the year is the semester is about to end. The semester will end in 2 weeks. So the next 2 weeks is all about fire. So I don't have time to coach anybody, right? If you want, you can check my coaching course. That one, I don't have to talk to you. Every video, everything you need to prepare for the interview is there. You can use the coaching course and then the course to prepare yourself. That one, and you also get free mock sessions. So that one, on Sunday when I'm doing mock session, I can ask you questions and then see where you are, and I can suggest some few things. But that's all. Everything ends with at the end of the live session. So I don't have that time. Okay. People think, sometimes I have to tell this. I know that if you tell somebody to pay, let's say $80, it's a lot of money when you look at where the person is and all of that. But if I look at my time and my experiences and all of that, what I charge students is, it's peanuts when I look at it, because my time alone, when I'm coaching students, I spend a lot of time, like so much time. Now I have a coaching course, so that even reduces the time I spend. But in the past, I used to spend so much time, like hours, coaching students. People think $80. No, I don't have. No, it's not easy like that. But yeah, I know it's hard for you guys so but and this is what happens when human beings are ungrateful, because for I don't know 6-7 years I coached people for free. I never charged anybody. I'll sit you down, build a story, tell you do this, do mock session, all of these things. I was doing it for free. But human beings, they don't appreciate it. Human beings, we are strange people. So yeah, then I had to change things, and this year I made a decision. So it is what it is. I will tell you what I have to tell you, because I'm not trying to let somebody like me. No, because I have good intentions, like pure intentions. If you are looking for somebody who genuinely cares about people, or who is honest, no, you will not find many people more than me. I will tell you, because I know myself, not like I'm bragging, but because I know myself. So if you don't like me, then that's really strange, because I don't really have anything for you to dislike. I don't. If I tell you something, it means I like you. That's why I'm telling you the truth. If I tell you something, it means yeah. But if you don't like me, it's good. All right. Perry says, if I waive the English test, do I have to send a letter from my school to show that I was from an English speaking institution? So Paris, everything is in the application. You have to state in the application that your native language is English. The language of instruction in your school is English. If you do that, that's all. The school will not require you to submit anything. But then there are some schools that still require it. So you always have to check before you submit an application. Everything, like some of the questions that you are asking, means you have a lot of things to learn about the process. I have a lot of videos, and also the video that I'm going to post on Tuesday. Watch that video. You learn everything you need to know. And in that video, and in the description of that video, there are links to most of the important study abroad videos that you need. Once you watch all of them, there is no way you will have so many questions, right? So just watch it. You see everything. How likely is it to get funding after arrival in the school with Without it, how can you want to survive without good financial support from family? If you don't get assistantship, don't come. That's what I can tell you. This is what people don't want to hear from me, because I will say one thing, everybody else will say another thing. But no, I will tell you, if you don't have assistantship, don't come. Unless you have a family here who can support you, because it's cold. When I say cold, I don't mean it in terms of the weather. I mean it's you have no idea. Even family, some of them will promise you that, oh, when you come, no, when, as soon as you arrive here, they will show you pepper. I have seen that before. People, so don't rely on anybody. Get funding to come before you come. If you don't have funding, make sure your family can sponsor you. Secure the funding before you come. Don't come to the US and then now try to secure funding. No. There is, once in a while it will work, right? Especially if you're already in the US, then you already know the system there. So that one, it's different. But if you're not coming to secure funding, it's very difficult. It's possible, it happens. I've seen it, a few times, but it's not guaranteed. And when something is not guaranteed, be careful. I know people who are already here, they are suffering. Like, when I say this, I'm not kidding you guys. People are suffering. People who are here, they are suffering. A lot of people. So don't come and be like them, because these people, they wish they can go back home and do the right things and then come again, but they cannot go back. How do you go back when everybody knows you are in the US? And no, you can't go. If you go back, they call you a failure. So you have to stay and then fight it. Even if every night you have to be on your bed crying, you still have to fight it. That's just the way it is. So please take your time, do what it takes to come here. Scholarships are there, plenty of them. You just have to work hard to get them. That's the thing. I'll tell you, I know myself. I've always known myself that I'm not like everybody else. People will come and be like, oh, you got admission, oh, nice one, and oh, now let's process the visa. No, you got admission. How do you process the visa? No, get a good. If your parent can sponsor you, then yes, go and process the visa. If your parent cannot sponsor you, you are thinking of coming to get assistantship, no, forget about it. Get it before you come. And the assistantship, not just from your department, you can get it from other departments as well, but it's not easy from other departments. Very, very difficult. If you hear somebody's story that, oh, I didn't have funding from my department and then I reached out to this department and I got funding, don't think that is the norm. Sometimes maybe 20 people will do that. Only one person will get it. Or maybe 100, one person will get it. So if one person is getting something out of 100, 1 over 100, the probability 0.01, and you think you want to follow that route. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Do the right thing. That's what I always tell students, whether they like me or not. Sometimes I say whether they like me or not because I know what other people say, right? So when you come and then I am telling you my mind like that, somebody will not like it, will be like, oh, Shaibu. But I have been here longer than all of these people. All of these people, right? So I know more about these people. These people, some of them, they were watching me before they came. So I know more than them. They can tell you. So, when I tell you, and I am not obsessed with followers. So I have to tell you the truth. That's just the way I am. That's how I've always been. So you take my truth or get angry. I don't want you to get angry, but if you get angry, then that's also fine, right? So Hope says, if it says 2.75 GPA in the last 2 years of undergraduate studies, does it mean only the last 2 years? Yes, it means only the last 2 years. Yeah. So it means that at least the last 2 years should, because the last 2 years credit hours carry more weight, right? Your last 2 years carry more weight. That's just the way. Because first year, second year, maybe you went to school and then you are now trying to understand the environment, trying to understand what is going on and all of that. So all these things you can be pardoned for that. And also advanced level courses are harder, right? They are more related to what you are coming to do. Third year, fourth year courses are harder and they are more related to what you are coming. So if you do well in those ones, it means you're actually a good student. The first, second year, maybe something happened and maybe that's why you could not come. So yeah, that's just how it works. Wellington says, when do you think is the best time to start a study abroad journey? I am currently my senior year in Legon. So Wellington, I don't want to talk plenty, right? I made a video specifically for those who have just completed school or those who are about to complete school, that kind of thing. That video is for those people, for them too. So it's more like if you know nothing about study abroad, like you have no knowledge about study abroad, that is a video that you should watch. So that video will post on Tuesday, right? So watch that video on Tuesday. It will tell you everything that you need to know.
If something is not, um, if something is unclear, you can reach out again. Okay, do you think I should start contacting professors now? The thing is that every you might reach out to 10 professors, only one of them will reply. And reaching out to a professor will not give you an assistantship. It doesn't work. I don't know why. I think the information is kind of mixed up in a way. If it's not a research position where a professor needs somebody to help in the lab, you don't even need to reach out to any professor. The only person you normally have to reach out to is the director or the coordinator of the program. The director or the coordinator of the program means the person who is in charge of the program, right? So you reach out to that person because you don't understand something about the application process or about the requirements. Then the person can give you more information because the person is the best person to give you that information. Because when they sit down to make admission decisions, that person is like the chair of that committee, of that admission committee, right? So that is the only time. So you don't really have to reach out to anybody. Your job is to meet the requirements and then submit a good application. Unless the school tells you need to get an advisor, or here they will say advisor, in Ghana they will say maybe supervisor, right? Unless the school tells you to get that before you, but normally you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to. All right. So okay, T, God's choice. Hi. So yeah, I think we've looked at some of the schools, and you are likely going to come across a lot of them, and all you have to do is keep checking, and always you have to verify that it is true, that it don't just take somebody's word for it. You have to always check it that it is true, and then after you've confirmed that the GPA is indeed less than 3.0, you have to also submit a good application. If you do evaluation, that can help you. If you take the GRE, that can help you, like all of these things. So today I think based on what we saw today, I think some of the schools that require less than 3.0, I think Cleveland State University, right, 2.7, and then I think Northern Law University to 2.75 minimum, and then Minnesota State University, I think 2.7 or so, and then Southern Law University 2.7, right, minimum GPA, and then Ball State 2.75, I think, and then Western Law University 2.8, and then Kent State University 2.75. I think Kent State, we looked at economics, and then we looked at was it fine arts and all of that, so likely all the programs they will also, and then we also looked at Fort Hays University, right? I think theirs was 2.7. So these are the schools that we've seen. So that is quite a number, right? It's not bad. Maybe like 8 or so, 8 universities that we've looked at today that have GPAs that are very low. So if you have GPAs that are very low, you can, and also if you have GPA which is maybe 3.5, you can just look at one of these ones, because it gives you a better chance, right, of getting assistantship. So that is just what I would I have to say today, and I really appreciate your time and your questions. I hope I was able to answer all your questions, and I don't know. Okay, Osman. What if GA stated on the graduate admission? So then you have to send. You're asking what if the GPA stated on the graduate admission portal is 2.5, different from that of the program website 3.0 with a GPA of 2.5. Can one still apply? No, you have to email the department. The department has specific interest, so the department is first before the graduate school, right? The department is the one going to decide. So their requirement is what is more important. So you have to send an email to them. Your 2.5 will not get you an assistantship unless you do something more than that. So that's just for you to know. If you Tony says if you already got your F1 approved but decided to not come because you have no funding, how long can you keep the F1 before you travel? The school gave you the school gave you I-20, you got your visa approved. Your I-20 is tied to your visa, which means that you cannot change schools. You have to still go to that same school if you want to use the F1 visa, and you have to use the F1 visa because you cannot go for another interview with a different school. But then after you have gone through security, after you have arrived in the US and have gone through security, then you can go to a different school. But before arriving, your I-20 is tied to your school. It's tied to your visa. So that's the thing. But when you come and then you leave, or you change schools and you are going back and you want to come, that one is different. But yeah, that's just. Do all schools require evaluation? No, most schools don't require evaluation. You always have to check. So thanks guys, and yeah, I appreciate your time, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have visa interview mock session, so I hope you make the time, and let's have some fun. I don't know if this is fun. It's not fun. I'm just kidding. Just, sometimes I'm too serious.
Before we talk about the application materials and everything else, I want you to understand how funding works, because it is likely that you cannot fund yourself, and so you want to get funding, and I'm going to tell you all you need to know to get funding, and then I'm going to tell you about the application materials, and all of that. First of all, there are more than 5,000 universities and colleges in the US, and a good number of them provide good funding to international students. Because not all schools provide good funding, you must check on their websites that they offer good funding before you submit an application. For graduate students, that is master's and PhD students, the funding that we are interested in are fellowships, teaching assistantships, research assistantships, and graduate assistantships. Fellowships are grants or free monies that help PhD students with their research. Teaching assistantships are given to students to help with teaching, in the school. So normally teaching assistants will teach undergraduate students. Research assistants will help faculty with their research. And a GA can be a research assistant or a teaching assistant. So GA is more like general. And also a GA can be somebody who helps with administrative duties. Whatever your department may have among these options is good. It will get your visa approved and help you survive in the US. Departments tend to have one or more of these options. If you are coming to do your master's or your PhD, you don't need scholarships, because scholarships are not going to give you enough money to survive. Also understand that funding is very competitive and not automatic. You are automatically considered for funding opportunities, but it is not automatic. It depends on how strong your application materials are. There are also campus jobs, but these campus jobs, they are not really going to give you enough money, so you don't really focus on campus jobs. Unless, the campus job is in a different department where they employ you as a GA. That way, they are going to waive your tuition and also give you some stipends. That one is good. For undergraduate students, the goal is to get full scholarship. This is based on how good your test score is. Undergraduate students don't get assistantships because assistantships come with some work for your department or other departments within the school. There are many ways of getting funding to study in the US, but the easiest and the best option is funding from your department after they have offered you an admission. In rare cases, you can get funding from other departments within the school based on your skills, and normally you have to arrive in the country to get these opportunities. Sometimes students get funding from their department as soon as they arrive in the country. If another student who was offered the funding decided to go to another school or was denied a visa to come to the US. But this is very rare, and so don't rely on it. Most people are denied a visa if they don't have any funding at all. To get good funding, you need to submit a strong application and also indicate